In the previous video on the vertical slaughter, I got the motor wired up. There we go. In this video, I install the power switch, tidy up the wiring, and install the motor on the vertical slaughter. I need to make some dust covers and a mounting bracket for the switch. I head off to the 3D printer. So you see this is the dust cover. This will be the mounting bracket to mount the switch to. I printed out this little plug. This is just to keep dirt and debris out. I'm going to start with the dust cover. There's existing holes here that are threaded. I'm just going to chase the threads. This will make it nice and easy. I had to modify my first design. I made this one a little bit thicker and then I added some slots. It'll just make it easier to install. It's pretty much the same thing as the dust cover. You just got to mark where the holes are, not only for the mounting support there, but also for the switch. The mounting plate has to have threads in it. And I didn't print it 100%, so I could not thread this piece. So what I'm doing here is I'm heating up the nut and bolt, and I'm actually melting a nut into the plastic. And that'll be my hold down. I marked the switch location, drill some holes, mount it to the plate, we're going to call that the plate, mount it to the plastic, and then attach the plate to the motor. I'm just using small nuts and bolts to attach it. Alright, this is looking pretty good. Now we got to figure out how to get the wires from the switch to the motor. This is where the adventure starts. Well, this is where I encountered my first problem. As you could see here, this doesn't match up. My intent was I was going to use this rubber hose as a grommet because I don't want the wires to chafe. So now off to the 3D printer. I'm going to print out a grommet. I drill a hole for the tap size I need, and then I tap the hole to fit the grommet. Alright, the moment of truth. Come on. Who didn't see that coming, huh? Man, I left wiggle room too. You gotta be kidding me. I guess I drilled the hole crooked. This thing's all cattywampus. Well, I went to remove it, and guess what? I broke it. Who didn't see that coming? That breaking off is the least of my problems. The wires won't fit through this grommet. I don't know what I was thinking. I have to drill a bigger hole and figure out something different for this grommet. Okay, this is what I came up with. I'll screw this into here, put this on, and then put this over top of this, and it should seal that up. Now what I just realized was I didn't have to have this threaded. At what point do you realize you don't have a hole in the thing? After messing with this idea for way longer than I care to admit, I donated it to my good friend the trash can. I head back to Fusion and come up with this idea. This has to work. This thing will get installed between the switch and the motor housing. I test fit the switch cover and that 3D printed cover. I want to make sure everything fits before I wire it up. Sorry guys, this is probably the best shot I have. So you see how it's in between the two housings there. And the grommet's big enough to fit the wires. Finally, after all that, I'm at the stage where I can wire this thing for the last time. I'm just matching up the colors. That's all I'm doing here. Remember, in the previous video, I sorted all this out. The last thing I do is I install wire loom to protect the wires. Okay guys, one last test here. It's off, obviously. Here we go. Alright, let's get this thing mounted on the slotting head. This isn't hard to do. The motor's a little heavy, and it would be nice to have a third hand to line up the belt. But other than that, it just slips right into place. There we go. Remember, this is the first time I hear this thing operate. There is a little knocking. I hope I don't have a problem.
There you go.
Okay, next we're going to have to machine the mount. But that'll be another video. Well guys, we got a problem. If you look down in here, you see right here? Well, you're going to have to stay tuned for the next video to find out what the problem is. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe.